Hey guys, so you here with another video for Blender, and in this one we're gonna be talking about really cool tips for hard surface workflow. We're gonna be using hard ups and box cutter for most of them, but also gonna show you some cool tips and tricks for mesh machine and machine tools. These are 4 add-ons that I'm using all the time in my workflow, and I couldn't live without them, and I'll show you why. So first of all, let's start with my favorite add-ons, which is hard ups and box cutter. By the way, if you would like to grab any of these add-ons, especially hard ups and box cutter, links are in the video description, so grab them if you don't have them. I suggest you grab a bundle because it's the best offer. If you want to push your skills further with these add-ons, I have tons of video on my YouTube channel, but if you really want to reach that next level, hop on our ultimate guide to hard ups and box cutter, which is a course that contains a ton of info and all the tools explained. And then if you want to really push this to the next level, then I would suggest you hop on our membership, in which we mainly focus on add-on workflow, and there are like 12 courses at the moment available day one. So if you sign up, you're gonna have access to a ton of information, forums, etc. So really cool stuff. Check it out, links in video description. So let's get on with it. So let's grab a cube, and I'm going to add a bevel. Okay, and I want to add a bevel that's kind of fat like this, right? Let's just run alt click on sharpen. It's gonna add weighted normals, and then if I want to cut this cube, right, and I want to have a boolean here, you'll see that the bevel is gonna get applied to that boolean. What if I wanted to have a smaller bevel? So all you need to do, guys, is go to Q menu and shift click on bevel and press X to half the bevel. And then when you draw the bevel, you will see that the bevel is going to be half size, but you can reduce it by going to Q bevel, and you can make it much smaller. And then when you press Q, you can adjust this bevel. So you can adjust both bevel at the same time, and you can keep going. You can keep stacking this. So again, shift control click X, and this bevel is going to be even smaller. It's going to be half size of this one, right? And so on and so forth. Another way of doing this would be going to step. So Q, operation step, same thing, right? All right, next one. Shifts multiply, amazing stuff. Let's grab another cube. So I'm gonna cut it in here, and I'm going to mirror this to the other side, and I'm going to apply weighted normals. And let's say that, these cutters are live. They're not really cutting the mesh physically yet. Let's say I wanted to grab this intersection here, this middle bit, this cutout face, and use it as a cutter. It's going to be really difficult to do. I would need to apply all the modifiers, duplicate the cube, etc. A lot of dance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, Q, and when I'm going to shift click on multiply, all right, what it will do, it will duplicate that cube, remove all the modifiers, apply the booleans, and I'm going to be left just with this shape. So what I can do now is select this face. I can inset it like this, all right? I can Control I to invert it. I can remove all the faces, grab this top, press Q, solidify, press 2, shift click this, Q, and difference, right? And that's, third life modifier on the mesh. So I can do, for example, now is go to Angon, turn off the cyclic, and have some super fun with this, all right? For example, like that. So we could cut some cutters here like this, cut some cutters like this, and maybe something like this, right? And there you go, you got a really interesting shape. Don't worry about these artifacts, they're just simply caused by Bevel being a little bit too crazy, right? Or maybe even cutters overshooting or something. But this is really cool, and everything is live, all right? So another cool trick. Another really interesting one is when you want to add bevel to one corner. So let's say I wanted to have a live bevel on this corner. So I'm going to select the edge, go to Q, and Control click on mark, and then I'm going to be able to add a bevel here, okay? And in addition to that, I can mirror this bevel to, holding shift to both, on both axes. And now I got bevel running on this cube, okay? And it's all, live bevel, and it's being mirrored. Really cool stuff. Very useful when you want to mirror, when you want to add bevel just to one edge. Let's go and talk about some cuts, right? Normal cut with box cutter, runs like this, okay? But what if you wanted to create a wedge? Well, wedge, it's been created by running a box cut and pressing W, okay? And then you can press W again, and and you can cut it. But you can see that this wedge cut, you don't really know which angle to pick. But if you're gonna hold Control, you're gonna create something called perfect wedge, meaning the angle here is gonna be 45 degrees. And now if I'm going to draw another cut and hold Control, all I need to do is release my mouse and click. So again, I'm drawing my cut, holding Control, releasing my mouse, and you know, this is Control being pressed or depressed, and cutting, and boom. And that's called perfect wedge. Another cool trick with box cutter would be flipping the bevel on any cut that you want, really. Let's go to circle, and we're gonna draw a circle here. I can draw a circle, press B for bevel, right? But if I'm gonna press Shift F, I'm gonna flip that to the other side, and I'm gonna get something interesting like this. Another cool trick with cutters would be to remove some bevels from the cutter. So watch this. If I'm gonna run a cutter here and press B, okay, let's just press Q to turn off this quad bevel. And I'm going to shift click to apply this. These bevels are live, but when I'm gonna try to adjust bevel, I'm gonna be adjusting all of them at the same time. What if you wanted to adjust just one corner? So now with this one, if I'm going to go to edit mode, I'm gonna click on this edge, okay? Let's just go to local view, click that edge, and I'm gonna go to mark, and I'm going to alt click that, all right? I can adjust the bevel weight on just one edge. And the cool thing about it is you can mirror this to the other side, and now you got two bevels, two different size bevels running on, you know, all these corners. And you can still adjust it with simply one, you know, one slider. So one bevel adjustment. We're gonna adjust them all, but they will simply have a different kind of, you know, sort of an angle, right? So that's really cool. Another really cool stuff is origin set. So let's say I'm gonna have a slope in here, and let's say I'm going to cut this with a cut here like that, and press X, and you know, just create a slice. If I wanted to mirror anything through that cutter, let's say I wanted to create a cut in here, okay, just select this one. I want to create a cut in here, but I want to mirror this to the other side. I can't do that really that easily, because the origin point is actually slightly misaligned. The origin point is for the cube, not for the cutter. But if I click that cutter and go to mesh tools and set origin, I can actually set origin on that cube, and now I can mirror the cutter across the origin of this cut, which technically doesn't exist because, you know, it's a live cut. So the coolest thing is I can move it, and it's gonna move with that origin point. That's pretty badass. Awesome feature of HardOps is gonna be maps. So Alt M to add matte, okay, and I'm gonna add BSDF matte. Let's go to LookDev and let's switch it to something a bit more interesting. There we go. And you know, this looks all peachy, but the problem is that, you know, BSDF mattes are a little bit dull, okay? I mean, they have no, you know, nothing special on them. But if you're going to go to here to Preferences and go to HardOps, okay? And go to Properties, and under this menu here, you're going to select this and assign maps to that folder. And these maps are basically grayscale maps. Now watch this. When I'm going to Alt M this again, I can actually scroll through maps that are linked to that folder. And I can add some really cool effects for these maps. And if you press H, you can see other options, like for example, scale, move, you know, rotate. You can do all kinds of kinky stuff with it. Now maps you can get from Gumroad. There is a really cool link through HardOps to maps, and let me show you, where was it? Settings, link ups, and now if you scroll your mouse, we're probably gonna be able to find them. There you go, 150 tileable roughness maps, and when you click that, you're gonna be brought to this Gumroad page by Travis Davids, and you can just grab these maps. They're freaking amazing. All right. Amazing trick for very quick sub D on complex meshes is Bevel with HardOps. Let me show you. Okay, let me just create a cut in here. Okay, just create a cut in here. Let's create a cut in here, and maybe let's create another cut in here. Okay, let's mirror this to the other side. Let's go to Operations and Multiply. And if I wanted to run sub D on this mesh, I'm gonna be in a lot of pain, correct? Let's just make this a little bit smaller. Okay, SY, sorry, and there we go. If I wanted to run sub D on this one, I'm gonna be in a lot of pain, right? But if you go to Bevel, okay, and you press Z for wireframe, and you scroll your mouse down to 3 segments, press P, and you're going to move your mouse to flex this, and then press A to adjust the size of it, you can adjust the parameter loops on the entire mesh, and then Control 3, and you're almost there. All you need to do is simply connect these edges that are not, you know, not quads, and create other quads or just simply smaller endgons that going to help you with the shading on that mesh. All right, doesn't have to be perfect quads, it's gonna work, guys. All right, so there you go, really easy, no effort, and boom, and there's my subdeed mesh. Still need some stuff in here, some stuff in here. Probably connect these, and connect these, and there you go, guys. Subdeed meshed in seconds. Really awesome tool that I use a lot is Shift Curve Extract. When I'm gonna scale this one and I'm gonna go to Q and shift click on Curve Extract, I'm gonna get this paneling effect. Now the cool thing about it is you can go both ways if I press 2, because it behaves like solidification. Okay, all you need to do to fix it is go to solidification and simply normals and even thickness, which will fix you know, this problem here. And there you go, you got a really interesting plating on top of this mesh. Another cool trick that I'm using a lot is going to be resetting curve. So let's Shift Control B that, and let's create a curve here like this, and we're gonna go here to Q and Curve Extract, right? So we got this curve, let's delete that. So now with this one being a curve, right, you can press S to smooth it. And then, you know, what if I wanted to change size of it, or what if I wanted to, let's say, continue with a really nice curve in here? I would need to convert it to geo. This wouldn't be that easy, but with hard-ups there is a trick. You can go to Q, and as long as it's actually a live curve, you can go to curve, right, press X to reset the curve to 0, then Control A, visual to mesh, and you can keep adjusting your verts. Okay, so let's say EY, then Shift Control B, right, and then back to curve, and mesh tools and Curve Extract, and boom, S1, and we're done. Another cool trick with hard-ups would be to add multiple arrays. So let's say I wanted to array this on this axis, but at the same time I wanted to array this on y-axis. So I'm just gonna press A, and then what if I wanted to array it on z-axis? Press A again. You can keep stacking these arrays really quickly and create something like this in seconds. If you want to curve something along a path, let's just grab a circle and drop it in here, okay? And let's convert it to curve. So convert to curve with hard-ups. Let's drop a cube, okay? Not a circle, let's drop a cube. We want to make this cube follow the circle, right? This curve. So select the cube, shift select the circle, press Alt W to enter the hard-ups menu, and go to this interactive, you know, smart modifiers here, and click on this curve, and boom. And then when you click on a cube, GZ, and you can, you know, follow the curve with the cube. If you're working with box cutter, you want to cut something and mirror some cuts really quickly. What you can do is while you're cutting, you can press 1, 2, and 3 to mirror on, you know, X, Y, and Z. And you can turn them off as well by pressing respective keys. So 1, 2, and 3. And you can turn them off and on, whatever you want, you know, whichever way you want, or order you want, doesn't matter, it's gonna work. Now let's talk about machine tools and mesh machine. I'm gonna show you a few tricks. First of all, you know, I cannot live without the machine tools pie menus, which is first of all the object mode to edit mode pie menu, which is extremely quick, as you can see. I don't have to deal with this bullshit here, you know, tab 1 to 3. It's like listening to a dial-up modem, you know, back from 80s. If I want to very quickly clean my mesh, let's say I have some junk here, you know, after cutters, I have some, you know, subdeed edges with some verts, you know, some rogue edges, whatever. And if I want to clean that, all I need to do is press 3, which is going to clean all my mesh. So this is a really handy way. So usually when I'm cleaning mesh, I'm pressing 3 with machine tools, then I'm going to operations in clean mesh, which will eradicate anything else. And if I still need to clean it further, I'm gonna go to 3D print toolbox, and I'm gonna simply go with make manifold. So these 3 cleaning tools are usually getting me, you know, 99.9% of stuff done automatically. I don't have to, you know, mess with faces, look for rogue geo. It just gets done very quickly. Okay, so 3 with machine tools, fantastic stuff. Another really amazing tool with machine tools is align. Okay, pi. If I have some vert, you know, somewhere in space here, okay, and I wanted to align it back to my cube, it would be a bit of a bastard, right? But with machine tools, it's really easy. Select this vert, Alt A and top, and it's gonna align based on view. So select this one, Alt A and left, and I'm, you know, back almost in game. Go to side view, grab this one, Alt A, and I'm aligned, okay? And I'm back to a cube. This is a fantastic pie menu, and I absolutely love it. There are more functions in here than you think. There are also functions for straighten, which are really cool. And there's another axis menu here, which you can access, really cool. And there's just tons of options over there. So check it out. Another amazing tool with machine tools is Unfuck, and Unfuck is just brilliant. I seriously couldn't live without it too. So let's just create a very tight bevel. I mean, very tight bevel here like this, okay? If I wanted now to insert this face, okay, insert it, you see what's gonna happen. The deeper I'm gonna go, the more steep this bevel gonna become. Eventually, it's gonna become a corner, then it's gonna overshoot itself. So if I want, what if I wanted to insert it so deep? And then, you know, with Vanilla Blender, that's impossible. But with Unfuck, what I can do is select this edge and Control select this edge. So this edge here, which is an equivalent of this edge. Go to Y and Unfuck, and you know, boom. And then all I do is I use another tool that's actually fantastic in Mesh Machine, which is Mirror. Alt X, and I'm done. Okay, you know what I mean? That's how handy it is. And by the way, this mirror tool is great. It's a symmetry mirror in edit mode. So let's say I have, you know, some kind of a mesh here like this. I want to symmetrize it. Normally, I would be using hard ups. Okay, so Alt X, D, symmetry, and symmetrize. But that's, you know, too much work. Okay, so Mesh Machine actually does it quicker by simply introducing a pie menu that's based on the same shortcut Alt X in edit mode. So Alt X, and you can see this gizmo. And if I move my mouse now, you can see there is like a dot. And when you move your mouse closer to the dot, you're gonna see the symmetry taking effect. So when you want to do it quickly like this, it's, you know, instant basically. So when you work with something, okay, and you know, you create some kind of a really cool shape, and then you suddenly want to see how this looks mirrored, Alt X and you're done, Alt X and you're done. That's how fast this is, okay? See what I mean? So, you know, and then let's say I wanted to straighten this out, I'm going to use Align, okay? So I'm going to select these two verts, this one, Alt A, left, and then I'm going to symmetrize it here and symmetrize it here. See what I mean? How easy it is. So there you go, guys. Really simple and easy, and I think extremely powerful. Another really cool, very powerful tool with Mesh Machine is on Bevel and on Chamfer. So let's say I have a bevel here. Let's make it more complicated, okay? So let's create a bevel here like this, and let's run a bevel here like this, and let's run two bevels like this, okay? Now let's say I would change my mind and I didn't really want these bevels here. I wanted to remove it. Well, removing these bevels is going to be an absolute bastard. But if you select this with in edit mode and you're going to go with Y and bevel, you will see that this whole edge is going to get unbeveled. You can actually, what you can do is you can unfuse, which is going to go to chamfer mode. And then you can unchamfer if you want to go to edge mode. So you got, you know, all kinds of cool options. There are other options with this tool, but this is one of the most powerful because it allows you to very quickly remove bevels that, you know, you no longer need. So, you know, unbevel, and I'm done. And then here, you know, unbevel, and then click this one and unchamfer, and I'm back to cube. Last thing I'm gonna show you guys is gonna be selecting sharp edges with Mesh Machine. This is really handy. So let's say I had a, you know, larger thing in here, and I'm gonna put a bevel on this one, and I'm going to cut this with a box like this, okay, and cut it in. All right, so E and cut it. Cool. Shift click to go live. D, go to end gone, turn off cyclic, and I'm gonna, you know, create kind of like a pattern here like this, all right? So I'm gonna create a pattern like this, and, you know, something like this, okay? And let's say, let's just cut it through, so we're gonna have a nice even connection here, because I think Blender is creating some crazy connections on my mesh. K with knife, and boom. I'm gonna sharpen this, so let's multiply and sharpen this, which will apply sharp edge everywhere. Now you see that we have rogue verts here, so let's press 3 to clean it with machine tools. Let's click on this edge, Shift G, and select direction. Deselect these edges because we don't need them, right? And then we go into bevel, all of these inside. These for some reason didn't get selected, which is interesting. Blender messed up. Okay, and now let's say I wanted to, you know, chamfer. I wanted to chamfer the these edges here. Selecting all these edges around will be very tiring. So what I can do is select simply one of each. Okay, one of each, right? Then go to Y with Mesh Machine and go to Select and L Select. This will select all adjacent edges to that shape, and I can very easily chamfer it, and boom, I'm done. Alright guys, well that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you'll learn something useful and pick up something, you know, for your workflow. Like I said, links to the add-ons in the video description, and if you're interested, check out our membership. We have tons of courses for add-on workflow and amazing community. So check us out. Links in the video description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.